Hey, Charlie's napping and I have a few minutes, so I wanted to get on here and I wanted to tell you guys my why you've seen me posting more about Fizz and why Arbonne has become a big part of my life. In 2022, just before this surgery that Savannah had planned for a long time and like we knew was coming, and I kind of had this fear that if they got her admitted for this surgery, it would be really easy to keep her admitted for a heart transplant and like make us wait there until a heart became available, which there's no span of time, no specified time because of how you have to receive a heart. And you don't want to wish that for anybody, which I've had some really in-depth conversations with the Lord about like, why does one have to lose their life for another to survive? And he has just spoken to me so much about like, he is not the author of evil, but Romans 8:28 says that he takes for those that love him, he takes all things and works them for good and for his purpose. And so even this like really tragic thing that happens on this earth, he is not the author of it, but he will still redeem it. And so I just knew that living in the hospital meant living off vending machine snacks, and I had done that before during multiple hospitalizations. I was not ready to do it again. I knew how awful it made me feel, and I really had not even gotten to a point of like feeling better yet, because even though I was in the hospital postpartum with my first child, and like nobody can prepare you for what postpartum is. Like the night sweats, the mastitis, because you're not keeping up with pumping, because you're living in a hospital, there's no privacy. I was miserable, not to mention like the panic attacks and like some of the spiritual stuff we were warring through. And so, when I came home, like at least I was past that stuff, but we were still just so crazy that nutrition was not a priority for me because I was in survival mode. But I'm on this journey, this shift, And so right before this hospitalization, I'm like, something's got to give. Like I can't go back and I can't live there for what could be an indefinite amount of time and survive on vending machine snacks. And, it's on a college campus. So then the other food options are like Chick-fil-A and Panda Express and like crap food, which, sorry, Lord. Chick-fil-A, the Lord's chick. I like Chick-fil-A every now and then, but even that, the recipes have changed. It's not good. So I reached out. I had been watching this girl who had been sharing about Arbonne, and I said, I need to do, you see Warren? I found these pants at Sam's, and they have stretchy waistbands, and they're not maternity pants, but I'm like, oh, he fits in here, and maybe they'll fit in postpartum. I'm like, I need something to shift. I need to feel good so I can show up for my family. And so I started the 30 Days to Healthy Living Challenge, which is when you get, I think at the time it was gut health, which has now been switched for green synergy, because green synergy has gut health inside of it alongside the greens and the collagen. But at the time it was gut health. It was the gentle detox. It was the detox tea, 2 bags of protein, and maybe a box or 2 of Fizz. So like a little sampling of the products. But then it also got you access into an accountability group. And for the first time in my life, like my family, we didn't have these conversations, this understanding of health. All of a sudden I was in these group chats with people that were sharing healthy recipes. They were sharing workout accountability groups. They were talking about the products, like different ways that you could use the protein powder, like in protein yogurt, protein balls, protein shakes. And listen, protein powder is not a replacement for real foods. And that was something that I learned too, because I thought like eating healthy sounded so complicated because I didn't know there's so many products out there, which ones are the right ones. And I didn't understand until God told me, if you want to steward health and wellness, it's found in intimacy with me. You are a triune being created in the image of a triune God. So just like God is God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, you are body, soul, and spirit, and each of those has to be nourished individually. And so a lot of the time I was nourishing my spirit to get through that season, but my body was falling by the wayside. And unless you have I'm going to use the word synergy. I don't know if that's the right word, but this balance between all three, one will always be lacking. They all have to be supported. Just like with the Lord, you need a relationship with every part of the Godhead. You relate to the Father in different ways. And so he said to me, sticking close to the Creator in terms of nutrition means sticking close to creation. So the best choice is always the real whole foods that come from the earth. But you and I know that we live in a fast-paced world, and so sometimes for the sake of convenience, you have to grab for something that is second best. And so that's where the Arbonne products came in for me. And it's like, I want to prioritize those meals, but because of where I'm living, it's not always going to be possible. And sometimes like you just want a little extra support, like, a protein shake. You can take it in the car versus sitting down and having like an actual meal with protein. And so I started there, and it was so life-changing for me. I started to feel better immediately. And it was like, wait a minute. So as I leaned into the Arbonne world, because that was my access point, that was what introduced me to health as a whole. I had these amazing products that started replacing things from my life that were not great. But even as I was replacing products with Arbonne, there was a deeper level of connection and community and sharing knowledge and resources and wisdom that was happening. And I got hooked up with a functional medicine practitioner who ended up running all my labs. I said, my husband and I are wanting another baby, but we are wanting to make sure we're okay first. We just experienced loss, and like those three parts of our body, soul, spirit, like I need all of them to be good before we try again. And so with my body, I said, there's no way to know what happened with Savannah's heart, but I just want to do my due diligence to make sure I take care of my body and steward it well before another pregnancy, so that any baby after this is born healthy, or at least that I know that I did my part. And she ran all my labs. She walked with me, even the things, when she would tell me some things in my lab work that were wrong, I would like have panic attacks, because I'm like, does that mean I'm dying? Because I had just seen what an ICU looked like. And she was just so loving and walked me through each part of it and said, like, you can see changes in your blood work in 6 weeks, that little of time, when you make these shifts. And so I started walking that out with her, and I just like kept going deeper and deeper and deeper. And so now I'm still not where I want to be. There's still things that, things that I haven't been able to totally let go of. I still enjoy my lattes every once in a while as a treat, but now I don't do them daily for survival. I do them as a treat on a writing night or something like that. Justin and I still eat out occasionally, but we've learned a new balance and a new lifestyle, and it all started with these products. And the thing is, I never outgrew them, because you would think that as you reached a new level of understanding and depth, the thing that had been your beginning would phase out, but they have been a consistent for me. The fizzes are still something. They are 55 milligrams of clean caffeine, all plant-based. The B12 vitamins make up the majority of it, but there's also vitamins like CoQ10 and riboflavin and some of those things in there. And they're refreshing. Like, I really look forward to them in motherhood. I'm on the days where I'm tired, I'm like, when can I reach for a fizz? Like, first thing in the morning, I kind of use it. And then sometimes around nap time, if I need an extra boost, I'll grab for one. The detox teas have been just a really simple way to support my body, help it flush any toxins, and like just that warm mug to wrap my hands around in the morning as I'm reading my Bible, because it's both. You have to have every part of your body nourished, and so it's the spiritual side, but then it's the body too, and it's like it's coming together in this really beautiful way. The protein powder, I use it on the run with Charlie between meals, like when we're out and about. I have made little protein balls and things that I send Justin to work with. The dream tea is like just so relaxing before bed after a long day. Like if you've just kind of felt like the day wore you out, it's a nice way to unwind and know that you're giving your body extra nutrients. Because here's the thing, a lot of the times that we find ourselves like stretched, I'm going to say emotionally, mentally, whatever, a lot of the time what that actually signals is that your nutrient stores are depleted, because you should be able to handle the things in your life. And so when you feel like you're snapping or you're short or you are foggy, those are actually indicators of something else going on. And so it's like these products have bridged the triune man for me and brought like a fun routine. I don't know if I'm describing that correctly, but like it's almost like romanticizing motherhood for me. I get to have my little tea, I get to have my Bible, like, I don't know, maybe that's just me, but they're not products that you outgrow. When you understand how great they are, you realize that like I can have all the depth that I'm learning and still, because of the world I live in and the pace we live at, there are still going to be times that I need things that are for convenience too. So I personally, Fizz, you guys see me post about Fizz all the time. I have one right now. That's my number one go-to product, and it has replaced, that's all we drink in our house is water, and if we want a flavor, then Fizz. And you can combine it with some of the other products, like Justin uses Mind Health to help him focus on his study days. You can combine it. Green Synergy has been one that I've only recently tried, but I love. And like I said, that's the gut health, the probiotics, the collagen builder, and the greens all together in one. And it has a citrus flavor to it. So you can drink it by itself. You can combine it with a Fizz. Protein, I kind of keep protein on hand. I don't depend on it daily, but it's like there when I need it. And so I keep a couple bags in the pantry at all times. I think probably when Charlie is a little older and we're in more like extracurriculars and things, that I'll maybe lean on it a little heavier, because then she'll be able to have it too. The detox tea has been a cozy staple for me. I'm trying to think what else we love. I'm really excited to start getting into some of the skincare too, because it's, you know, anything that goes on your body is absorbed into your bloodstream. And so learning about health is a journey, and you reach new depths of it all along. And you have to just go at your own pace, and you have to take on what you can. But we've switched out all the products in our homes. Like this Arbonne, it literally all started with Arbonne. Those accountability groups that it introduced me to, we went through every product in our home, every hygiene cleaning product, learned how to read ingredient labels. That was such a big one, something that had felt so intimidating for all my life. And the first thing we want to look at is the number of calories. And I learned like that's really like one of the least important things on there. Like you should be looking at first the ingredients, the actual listed ingredients, and then there's so many other things besides calories that are so important, and even like serving size, because you can look at calories but not understand the serving size and think that you're eating one amount and like be totally off. But all of that came from Arbonne as my starting place. Now on the business side, for me, it was an easy yes, because it's like if I'm using these products, then I'm not a salesperson. I don't like that. I feel like I'm a pretty honest communicator. I'll tell you the pros and cons of what I see, because I don't know. That's just the person I am. I'm not like gonna make something that it's not. Like I will tell you, oh, I love this, but this was and for me, I was like, if I'm already drinking it, loving it, I'm already telling people about it because it's changed my life and I want it to change theirs, then yeah, becoming a consultant makes sense. And then I have coupon codes to share with people, and it can be a blessing. But it also gave me access to the business side, which is like all of the accountability calls weekly. And so every week they will talk about like new products, new promotions, and everything. But first, they have a motivational speaker of some kind, like somebody, not even like a hired one, but like somebody sharing their testimony of like what the products did for them, or how they're structuring something in their life. Like, they are powerful. I get off the phone after them. They're only 30 minutes every Monday. And I feel like weirdly hyped. Like, I got to go outside and run because they're so inspiring. And it's like people living at a different capacity, dreaming so big. Like, Arbonne is just one part of their lives, but they're out there in some incredible mission fields. And I'm like, how come I've never like sat in the room with this many people that dream and think like this before? And then it kind of hit me, because they feel good. They feel, their bodies feel good, which is giving them that energy and that drive to go pursue more. And so that's kind of where I want to hit it home. Like, these three parts of us are all connected, and we need all three in balance and nourished well in order to run in our callings in life. You're not going to have the energy to do the things that God has called you to set out into the mission field, unless you feel good and are stewarding the body that He's given you. So that is my big why. Also not understanding why Savannah was diagnosed with a heart condition, had me asking a lot of questions, and seeing the differences in Charlie since we've been learning these things and making switches has been honestly so eye-opening. Even like having an 8-pound, 12-ounce baby, because the standard American diet is so high in sugar, they automatically, any baby born over 8 pounds, they test them immediately for undiagnosed gestational diabetes. But that's if you were eating crap and not balancing your blood sugar and everything. But when you're eating like more of an ancestral diet, whole foods, that's a healthy child. I don't know, it is so cool to see the differences when you're putting these things into place that feel maybe small and like you can't really see the significance of them in the moment, but as time goes by, you look back and you're like, wow, look at the change in my life. Even, being able to have a successful VBAC pregnancy with Charlie and my body doing the things that it needed to do, I appreciate it in a different way. But Charlie's waking up from her nap, and this video has gotten way too long, but I really did. I'm not a person that's like a salesy person, and so I have been wanting to come on here and tell you like why I'm talking about these more, and it's because it means something to me. And if it could mean something to you too, then I'd love to walk out your journey with you. All right, gotta go get her.